Peace, Rottweiler. Um, I'm not God, though. Far from it. But, but peace to you. How are you? I'm going to wait a little while to see how many people come in. I don't need a lot of people, just a few. Help me with a question I have. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. I've been under the weather a little bit myself. Just now getting back on here, but only because of what I've heard. Peace, Gwen. You said the volume is low. That's unusual. The let's see. I'll aim the mic over toward me a little bit more. Is that any better? And I'll scooch up closer and see if that helps. Peace, unsunken one. How are you? Peace, I see. I see. I like that. I see. Okay, good. Yeah, I just moved the mic over a little bit. Okay, I'll be honest. There's enough people in here to actually help me with this because I truly need for someone to help me understand something. Peace, consciousness of genocide. Um, here's here's my question. I've been online a few times, a couple times last night, and I had to keep going to bed, and then uh, a couple times today. And what I'm trying to figure out, and I'm very serious about this question. Why are we still talking about what Kanye West said? And I mean that. I mean that from my heart. Why are we talking about what Kanye West said? I need someone to explain this to me, and I need more of an explanation than because he's a celebrity and all that. I get that. Why are we talking about what he said? As if oh my god, as if what he has to say means anything, and it's bothering me. It's like it's like something under my skin. It's bothering me. Uh, Peace, Augustine. Peace, true royal family. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, true royal family. That's what I'm talking about. Why is anyone talking about? God, you know, we get caught up in celebrity culture, and I understand we may actually have our 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 pet targets, like the former sheriff Clark, True Royal Family gives him that work. I enjoy hearing that, but he's not like the focus of her life, and he's not when she talks about him. She's not talking about him in any way that is like he actually means something to our people. You know, this whole Kanye West thing. I honestly believe that the only power that what he said has is the fact that we keep driving it. We keep driving it. We keep powering it. It's not the other way around. It's not. It's we're not talking about it because it or he is so important. It or he is becoming important because we're talking about it so much. When we need to just let it die, like anything anybody else on the street would say that's stupid, and then you just let it go. So, peace, sister Lisa. People in our community tend to like distraction, and especially an entertainer. That's very true, August Dreams. Peace, T. Thomas. Peace, Mother Nature, and everyone. He's hey Ayapa and everyone. He's a entertainer, so it's entertaining us, and and to that degree, I get that part. But as a people, at as a people at war, we don't have the luxury of these type of distractions. You know, white people can distract themselves with whatever as much as they want to, but we're fighting. We have an enemy that we're trying to fight, and we have a battle in a war that we're in, and and I enjoy entertainment as much as anybody, maybe more, but at the same time, I keep in mind that we are a people at war. War is declared upon us, you know, and we're trying to distract. You know, we're trying to distract ourselves by jumping on what the latest celebrity says about whatever. Oh, did you see what Issa Rae wrote? Who cares what she wrote? I got an idea. Let's nobody talk about it at all and see how far what she wrote goes. For for those of you who saw the TV show The Nanny back in the day, there's an actress on there named Fran Drescher, who no one has probably heard of anymore. But Fran Drescher, uh, she was always being hounded by the paparazzi. Her face was on every magazine. She was on every TV show and talk show and all, and everybody was just, excuse me, everybody was bigging her up all the time, as far as like the paparazzi and everybody. And one day she got on television and talked about, she was on Entertainment Tonight, I think it was, and she started talking about how the paparazzi need to leave people alone and blah 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 blah. And the paparazzi said okay, and they left her ass alone. And every time, and they stopped taking pictures of her, they stopped talking to her, they stopped writing stories about her, and her star started fading very quickly. And according to them, the paparazzi, she got to the point where every time she saw a camera, she was trying to get in front of it, and they turned away from her. And then she turned into nothing. She turned into nothing. I think I saw her on an infomercial someplace, and that was it. They killed her career. They killed her career. My point being that they were showing her, you aren't, it's not you. It's us who make you who you are. And the same goes for an Issa Rae, for a Kanye West or whoever. It's us who make them who they are. You take their public away from, and they're nobody. They're nobody. What they say carries no weight. So as I see people constantly talking about these people, I'm like, dude, somebody shut up. We don't need to keep talking about these people and pouring all this fuel on this fire. Okay, so somebody made an ignorant remark. They're ignorant. Let them take their ignorant ass and go someplace and we not talk about it. But yeah, we're in love with the drama and so on and so forth. Well, I was going to ask a question. I'm going to read them in the comments. I apologize. I got myself going. It's all about energy. Without our attention, they're nothing. That's absolutely true. Delana Robinson. That's absolutely true. Without our attention, they aren't anything. They aren't anybody. And that I'm not saying, I mean, everybody's somebody, but you know what I mean. They're not celebrities. What makes a celebrity is their public. Absolutely true, Royal Family. We don't have time. We don't have time to play. We don't have time for all these distractions. We're trying to build a nation. We're trying to build a people. We're trying to separate and get to ourselves. And those who don't want to come, they're welcome to stay. They're welcome to stay. I'll be honest. I ain't mad at you. If you want to stay, stay. But those of us who want to go, we're trying to go. We're trying to get to ourselves. And we're trying to figure out how to do that and how to escape this hell that we're in. So I was just watching Sister Lisa's share about like all the oil all the oil spills and all this before Fukushima. We're dealing with the people who put money everything over everything. When the whole thing went down with the Takata airbags, documents came out that showed that they knew that a certain number of people were going to die before something was finally had to be done about those airbags. And what these people do is that they calculate, how much all these lawsuits are going to cost, and they weigh that against the profit that they'll make. And they say, okay, you know what? It's cheaper to just let however many people die and then pay off these lawsuits than it would be to just fix it up front. That's how callous these people are. That's who we're dealing with. That's who we're dealing with. And so we can't afford the distractions of the media pushing different things in front. The fact that TMZ pushes this in front of us should tell us everything we need to know. TMZ has no interest in black people or the black community. They have no interest in our strengthening ourselves. What they want is views. What they want is advertisers coming and say, well, we have this many people watching this because of this. You pay us this, X amount of dollars. And that's all they care about. But what we need to concern ourselves with are the people who actually care about our people. There are plenty of us online. I steer people to Jason Black a lot. I steer people to True Royal Family, to Sister Lisa Cabrera, to of course Audrey Lee, Radical Home Sister. I'm always steering our people to people who obviously care about our people and trying to build something and coming with solutions. Because it's one thing to constantly talk about what's wrong. We know what's wrong. We've lived with it from the moment we were born. We know what's the matter. But we have people out here who are also telling us what's wrong, but they're also examining and exploring solutions. And that's one of the things that I do. Because I lose sleep at night thinking about our people. I honestly do. I can sit here and tell you anything, but I'm just being honest. I lose sleep thinking about our people. I wake up in the morning thinking about our people and what can be done to move us forward, to help us. That's my life. Because I hate what has been done to us. And I see it crystal clear in a way that I hadn't ever seen it before. Peace, Leotis Brown. Peace to Handy Fan with. If they count the cost of the first lawsuit, right, it will get the most. Then the class action suit after that will give the people who join little or no payout. Exactly. Too much programming and indoctrination on TV. Right, Gwen B. Peace, Bonafide. Thank you. Much love to you. Peace, KD84. So yeah, I came on and I said, to help me understand this. From the celebrity standpoint, I already know that they're celebrities, so anything that comes out of their mouth is going to be pushed in front of us as if it matters. But anyone who has watched like David Copperfield or any of these magicians, one of the first things they teach you is about distraction. You know, they get you to look over here while they're doing something over here. You know, always keeping your eye looking at this hand when this is the one that's actually doing, you know, doing stuff. Deflection and that and distraction, and that's exactly what happens to us day in and day out as a people. Is that you can almost tell what you don't need to look at based upon what they're trying to get you to look at. You know, if they're concentrating on what some celebrity said or did, or and so on, then that's you definitely need to start looking in the other direction to see what they're really trying to hide from you. You know, I went on the, it wasn't the MSN feed, it was, I think, the Bing feed, and all I saw was news about Meghan Markle's dress. I couldn't make myself care. I could not make myself care. I'm like, dude, what is this? You know, world's getting ready to freaking blow up. You got, you got volcanoes erupting in Hawaii. Everybody knows Yellowstone is a super volcano, and that's not some conspiracy theory crap. That's just a fact. You know, you got Yellowstone, which is a super volcano, and they're telling me about somebody's trying to get me to pay attention to what Meghan Markle, to her, what wedding dress she's wearing. Who cares? Who cares? Oh my God, these freaking people, man. Oh. Right, who cares about the royal wedding, Leo? It's not, and guaranteed, once that wedding starts to take place, or the eve of the wedding, whatever, that's all you're gonna hear on this, like, on this news, round the clock news cycle. That's all you're gonna hear about, as if it means something. And it's over in England. Who cares? But even if I was in England, I wouldn't care. There's so many. Did anybody? I think it was Friday. Did anybody catch what? Oh, brother, I was just about to say her name. She was on the news. I hate to even say this name, but Oprah Winfrey's best friend. What's her? Oh, brother, I can't remember her name. Somebody tell me her name. That's on like the CBS News in the morning. Used to be on there with Charlie Rose. Slick Charlie. Oh, Gayle King. Thank you. Did anybody hear what she said about Charlie Rose? She said, well, he's been humiliated. He's been humiliated enough, and what more can you keep doing to him? He's off the air and blah blah blah. I'm like, I won't say what I said. Keep it clean. I was like, wait a minute. You were the first ones trying to crucify Cosby and had zero good to say about him. Daughter isn't even cold in the freaking ground, and you're Miss Me Too. But then you're talking about this old white pervert and saying, "Oh, I think he's been through enough, and it's hard when it's a friend of yours." Oh my God, it's like Psycho said, where do they make these people? So he said, where do they make them so he can go and blow up the plant? Where do they make these people? Unbelievable. Did anybody hear her say that? I caught her saying, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Thank you, Avery. I am feeling better. I'm gonna have to go back to bed in a while though, but I'm okay. I need to try not to overexert myself. But this whole thing just has me. It has me more upset than it should, and I'm not upset about what Kanye said. I'm upset about the way that the black community reacts to it. It's like we react to everything, and we need to get out of this reactionary position As I said about playing chess, when you're playing chess, the the main idea of the game is to get the other person to have to react to what you're doing, instead of they're playing you and they're forcing you to move, to where they want you to move, or at best you're moving where you want to, but all your moves are based upon what they're doing, and you're not freely moving. Uh, you're not freely moving based upon what it is you want to do. And that's the way that I see us having become in this society, is that we just react to everything. Everything, we're just reacting and reacting and reacting, as opposed to just doing. You know, if we were patronizing black owned establishments in the first place, and then something happened at Starbucks, it wouldn't matter anyway because we're not going there. If we're if what we're if we're buying black, patronizing black businesses and restaurants and cafes and so on, it would matter what Waffle House did, because we wouldn't be up in there in the first place. That's why I said I have to start going to Starbucks just so that I could boycott them. I don't go there. I have to start going to Waffle House just so that I can start boycotting, because I don't go there in the first place. Black owned businesses. So, and and what's happening is that, or what would happen is that in doing so, we wouldn't be reacting to anything. You know, um, by listening to Angela at Be Fabulous You, I'm learning. I'm learning and have learned. I've stopped really talking about getting away from white people and just talking about moving toward black people. I don't have to. I don't have to get away from white people. I just have to move toward black people. I just have to move toward my people. I just have to do things toward my people. It's not based upon what they do anyway. And that's a mistake I was making, because it's a reaction. Because as long as I'm having it in the context of getting away from white people, then that's reactionary. But if I'm talking about moving toward our people, doing things in our community, then that's proactive. That's all proactive. So that's what. Oh, peace, S. Wiseman. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Um, Underrated darkness. We have to worry about ourselves only as people. Uh, that's what counts. All right, peace. Uh, True Royal Family. When's your next Art of War coming up? I think I missed. I think I missed the last one. I'll have to watch the replay. Um, but when is the next one coming up so that we can know? And that's another thing. While I wait for True, the end of May. So the next Art of War is coming at the end of May for the True Royal Family, and she usually has it in the form of a panel. And True Royal Family, hopefully I get on the panel this time, because now it looks like I have that figured out. I was able to get on Infoman's um, panel the other about a week ago. So I think that I finally have that worked out, because I was never able to get on. I was surprised I was able to get on at that time. So we have that coming at the end of May. Oh, I need to apologize to the brothers. We were supposed to have had a Black Man's Journey live last Thursday, and I fell ill. So that's why I haven't really been around for the past couple of days. I jumped in and out of a few live streams, but then I have to take my butt to bed like I'm about to do in a minute. You can't tell it probably. I'm sitting there sweating. Um, Ryan James. Star what? I heard that. Buy your own bags from the supermarket, brew your own darn fresh coffee. He said, "Damn," but I don't want to swear. It, vote for, vote with your purchasing power. Use the savings as leverage, which I 100% agree with. Thank you, Leo. I'm getting better. One day I'm gonna have to tell the family about. Um, well, this looks like it's spooling because it's spooling on my. One day I'm gonna tell the family about um, my my health challenge. Um, this is just not today, but one day I will, and some of you, some of you may be surprised. Maybe there's situations we finally force those with like minds and is tired of the disrespect to learn how to respect each other, which in turn will allow us to demand respect from each other. It's true. It's very true. So, yeah, we just need to. Yes, ma'am. True role. And I know you do. I can't. I can. I can relate, and at the same time, I can't because my pain isn't chronic. It's a different kind of ailment. But yeah, it's pretty deep for me. Yeah, nobody would know it if I didn't tell them. But no, I was getting ready to tell you, but I'm gonna wait. Sadly, some of our family won't come out of the burning building. We may have to leave them. Gwen B, that's true. Everybody can be saved. Um, I, um, I was I was talking to my best friend. This was several days ago, and he and I basically, I mean, we didn't fall out, but we got in a pretty heated argument because I was explaining to them. I don't, I've gotten to the place where I don't try to explain anything to our what I call stragglers anymore. Now that said, I truly do believe that there are some of our people who that is actually their calling is with to deal with our stragglers because we all have our gifts. We all have our abilities, and there are some people who may be able uh, to talk to some of the stragglers in a way that they actually get it and the lights go on. But that is not my calling. I see that because all I do is get very very frustrated, and I it's and I'm not uh, well, the way I told him, I'm not the spokesman for the pro black movement. I'm just some guy out here doing the best I can and who woke up. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have the time or inclination to try to wake you up, or anybody else. So that's someone else's calling. It's not mine. Yeah, I know Gwen B. Yeah, a lot of people saw that coming. Yeah, we're telling me, and they just basically say, they're saying I've outgrown them. I don't really think I've outgrown because we could sit and talk all day long, just as long as the subject of pro black doesn't come up. Um, and I'm the one who won't bring it up because he constantly tries to bring it up because he wants all this stuff explained to him. I'm like, dude, I don't got time. I don't have time. What the advice I give to people who genuinely want to understand, I say what you have to do is start coming to pro black live streams, start start watching pro black people like Jason Black and so on. You don't have to comment; you can just observe. But that's how I learned. That's how I started learning. That's how I started figuring things out was getting out of that bubble and starting to understand that that when it when I almost don't want to go this way, but when it comes to black people and white people, um, as I explained to him and others, a white person is as different from a black person as a man is from a woman. Yeah, you both look human. You both have, both have arms, legs, heads, and so on. But I am not a woman, and a woman is not me. A woman is not a man, and a man is not a woman. They are totally different things. And to that degree, yeah, white people have two arms, two legs, a head, and eyes, and so on. But they are different than black people. They are that different. One of the problems is that these people who want to hang on to white folks and people are people and love is love and all this crap don't understand that white people and black people are different. That's not even saying, look, and some of you might get mad at me for saying this, but I'm still gonna say it. That's not even saying better or worse. It's just saying different. We're different. We are different. And for our safety, because of a proven track record, a proven history of violence, a history of brutality, a history of breaking treaties, a history of lying, a history of burning you down or blowing you up because they're jealous, we have to get away from them for our own safety and for our own sanity. That's not saying I want to hurt them. That's not saying I want to kill them. That doesn't mean I hate them. That doesn't mean I dislike them even. It just means for my own safety and for my own sanity, I need to get away from them. What's wrong with that? I would call anybody crazy who stays in a situation where they know that they're not safe or it's driving them crazy. And it would be better for both. You know, heck away from me. I hear you, August Dreams. I could say I own my difference from the differences from the Caucasoid savages. Even Roach. KD84. I knew you. I knew I could count on you. he said, he said, we're the darn best. He said, damn, but I don't want to curse. Uh, Whoever don't like it can go away. We are different from them in the same way that lions are different from hyenas. I hear you. We're different. And and like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to separate because for your own safety and for your own sanity. So the talks that we have online with each other, the the teaching that True Royal Family does, the teaching that Sister Lisa Cabrera does, the teaching Sister Ajali does, the teaching Jason Black does, you know, and more are are just ways of starting to try to build this foundation of moving in our own direction, and taking our dollars and circulating them throughout the black community several times before they leave the black community. Having respect and love for our own people. Nothing wrong with that. So um, back to the Peace King Stan. Um, so back to the whole Kanye thing and the Issa Rae thing. I'll throw her in there too. Half the time when these so-called celebrities say or do this outlandish stuff, it's just so that they can garner up attention because they know that we're so easy. If you ever if you ever knew somebody who if somebody teased them, they just couldn't get a rise out of them, or say someone was teasing you and you just ignore them, and they keep trying to get a rise out of you, and you just ignore them. After a while, they just leave you alone and stop because the whole purpose is to get you going. Whole purpose is to just get you going. And as soon as they start finding out, you can't get us going like that anymore. We have bigger fish to fry. We have more important things on our mind than what some so-called celebrities said. And I keep repeating it. I repeated it on my last share. But what Malcolm X said was so true and it was so poignant that among our people, we're the only people, black people, we're the only people who have like celebrities and athletes as our spokesman, like they're spokesman for our race or for our politics. You know, and I think I even said it. I, I may have said it, may not, but I may have put it in a comment. But you know, you have white people. They have, they have like heads of state and members of the government, and they go on Face the Nation on Sunday morning and tell their lies, but still, it's their political, they're politically powerful people who say things, and then the next morning, Monday morning, the white people are in an uproar because of what this political figure said on Face the Nation, and then black people, we're we are in an uproar the next morning because of what some entertainer said on TMZ. It makes us look buffoonish. You can get upset with me if you want for saying, but it makes us it makes our people look buffoonish. Now I couldn't care less how white people perceive it because at the end of the day, what white people think of us doesn't matter. But what does matter is how we perceive ourselves, how we look to ourselves. Just like Lisa Cabrera said, we have to be accountable to ourselves. We don't need to be accountable to white people for anything. For what? Half of them high, the other half is perverts. Accountable to them for what? They're not some paragon of virtue that we need to look up to and have on some kind of a pedestal. What we need to do is start being accountable to each other for what we say and what we do. And to those who want to be coons and so on, you know, go on and coon out and just be ostracized from the people who aren't. And if you want to stay attached to white people, by all means do that too. It's a free country, but there's a core that's trying to get the heck out of here, and get away from them. So it's like a circus where other communities have the ringmaster speaking for them, while we are the clowns speaking for us. We have the clowns speaking for us. Exactly. I tried to explain to a woman how the Bill Cosby verdict will affect her young son's life, and she just didn't get it. I believe that, unsunken one. Genocide. Clever. Thank you, Leotis. Uh, he, he said hit the like button. But I I don't know. I'm at a loss half the time. I love looking at, like I said, True Royal Family's content and Lisa Cabrera's content, Jason Black and others who are really talking about things that matter. And sometimes, sometimes we have fun. We all have fun. I'm the main one, with my silly ass. I'm silly as I can be. So we have fun sometimes. We enjoy a laugh sometimes, but ultimately, at some point, we have to just like get down to business and really try to understand things and figure out our way through this maze and out of here. And there's so much pertinent and relevant information. Um, Look, when it comes to Fukushima, I noticed something uh, several days ago. Well, a few days ago, was that there's always, and it's probably the same for your city too. They're always putting up either a hospital or someplace like that dispenses medication. They're always building some kind of a hospital or some kind of a hospital annex or all. Now, there are several reasons for this, and some of them might border on conspiracy theory, but the point still remains. Just taking any theories out of it, they're still building hospital after hospital after hospital after hospital. I'm like, well, are that many people sick? Why are so many people sick? Well, we know it's because we're being poisoned, number one. Then we have all this radiation floating around us, number two. And then big pharma is also in the pockets of medicine, the medical establishment. So, you just are seeing this big rise in hospitals all over the place. In addition, to an opioid crisis that's out of control, and just like Sister Cabrera is always reporting on, it's showing no sign whatsoever of slowing down. And I think that's also part of the reason that all these hospitals are going up. Hospitals every place. And it's disquieting, to be honest. Um, like I said, you wouldn't keep building that many hospitals and that many structures if they didn't expect for them to be filled with people who are sick. And so the bigger question is, how do they know so many people are how do they know in advance so many people are going to be sick? And I attribute it mostly to the radiation and in part to the opioid crisis and in part to the fact that we're being poisoned. So it's it really is time to consider getting away from, well, not consider, it really is time to break, make our break from these people, move toward our people, truly start loving each other and respecting each other. We're not going to agree on everything, but nobody agrees on everything. When you see those teachers who were on strike in West Virginia and different states, and you just see these masses of teachers. Those teachers don't all share the same ideologies. Those teachers don't share all the same views on homosexuality, religion, whether the toilet paper goes like this or goes like that. Toilet paper goes like that, by the way, so that you pull down, like when the when it's when it's rolled up. Now say that's the wall right there. Toilet paper goes down like that. It doesn't face that way. If you're doing it this way, you're wrong. So but all I'm saying, people, all I'm saying is that people don't agree on everything. But when it came to those teachers, they agreed on one thing, and that was their power. Their power was that they all they all agreed on that single thing, and that's what got them what they wanted. That's what got them what they were moving toward. And we have to also, as somehow become of that single mind. We need to figure out exactly what it is that we want as a collective. And I'm talking about pro black people. I'm not talking about all these other people out here and coons and all this stuff. I'm not talking about them. They're not part of this equation. You know, we're talking about people who want to build black communities and start to build black wealth in the United States, if it's possible. If it's possible, because I listen to a lot of Yvette Carnell and listen to Antonio Moore a lot, and they make extremely valid points, and they come with the data. And see, there's what we think and what we would like to believe, and then there's what the numbers say. And you can't fight a lot of these numbers. So anyway, uh, that said, we still need to figure out some strategies for building black wealth, for building black communities, and for coming together. And if and when we would ever build like strong black communities, then we would also need training in protecting those communities. That was the fatal mistake that was always made, I think, when like with Rosewood and Black Wall Street and so on. They underestimated they underestimated what white people would do. They underestimated their jealousy and their savagery. But now, because of history, we know. So uh, whatever black people do isn't to go out and hurt anybody or do anything to anybody, but we darn sure need to always be ready to defend ourselves. But that's the right of any human being, is to be ready to defend yourself and defend your life and that of your family and your community. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's true. We don't think like them. Anything's possible for our people. We have always created something out of nothing. That's very true, Bonafide. I think we need to have a conversation with Pastor Dow. Even if you don't agree with his doctrine, he has built a community and has means of protection. I'm familiar with Pastor Dow, and you're right. He's done some good things. There's definitely a lot of his doctrine I don't agree with, but you can't deny the fact that he has built something. So I hear you. Most black folks always underestimate the beast. Yeah, we do spin gold from straw all the time. Yes, Gwen B, we do. CLG, I'm just ready to beat these clowns already. They suck. KD84, always in the house. We all have something to bring to the right, Leos. We all have something to bring to the table. We're we are definitely probably the most we're, not probably we're the most creative and ingenious people on the planet. The fact that we're still here, the fact that we're still here, and the fact that the majority of us are still in our right minds is a testament to our resilience and to our brilliance and to our power as a people. And that's what scares a lot of people. They're like they see how bad we get beat down, and you still can't, and they still can't take us out, still can't do things to us, that just totally destroy us. So but I'm gonna go. I'm about to go back to bed. And I don't want to bore you, but I so much appreciate everyone who came into the live stream. Um, it's just about my original question about why we were still even bothering to talk about Kanye and so on. Um, I guess what I would suggest, uh, I will say this. Someone made the comment, not here, but someone made the comment that the reason that we talk about or the reason they talk to their children about it is because that's somebody they look up to, and and it has what they say has an impact and so on. I submit that from now on, when these celebrities say things and our children make a big deal out of it or whatever, when celebrities say things that's out of pocket, I submit that instead of addressing what it is they said, we need to start addressing why do you think it's important that they said it. If Joe Blow or Jane Blow on the street said exactly the same thing, word for word, would you care? Would you be talking about? Of course not, because ultimately what they said isn't that important. The only importance you're placing upon it is that it came out of his or her mouth, and I think that is actually the real conversation. I learned about what's called the halo effect. The halo effect is when you attach things that are undeserved onto a person, uh, strictly because of like external like an external perception. In other words, you see a well dressed man in a suit holding a briefcase, and you haven't said word one to him, you automatically think that that person's intelligent or that that person is well off. That's called the halo effect. They could be completely broke and dumb as a stump, but the thing is, just based upon looking at them, you already have a perception of them. You see someone in a nasty T-shirt getting out of a banged up car. Oh, they must be dumb and don't have anything, and they could be like the wealthiest person in Michigan. You know, that's called the halo effect. And that's what happens with a lot of these celebrities, the halo effect, where we just attribute all this stuff to them, and actually, what they say, Carrie, is no more or less important than what I I wouldn't trade 5,000 Kanye Wests for one Lisa Cabrera. You know what I mean? When it comes to disseminating information. I wouldn't trade 10,000 Issa Rays for one Anjali Shabazz. You know, come on. Anyway, I said I was gonna go lie down, probably go watch a cartoon or something. So I love you, family, and I really appreciate you coming in. Let me speak to. I will speak to everybody who's in the chat. There we go, participants. There we go. Okay, peace to Alan Freeman. Thank you. I'm just not seeing you in here. Um, and then forgive me if I butcher your name. I'm gonna really try to say it right though. Um, Amaya, Ya, Shabazz, August Dreams, Avery Hodge, Bonafide, 1970. Peace to you, brother, and thank you for being a mod. Uh, Consciousness of Genocide, Dallas Slade. Peace. IC, Gwen B. Thank you for being a mod, sis. KD84, as always. King Stan, Leolis Brown Jr., Lisa Cabrera, Mother Nature, Nicole Ali. Oh, peace, Nicole. I didn't even see you in there. Nicole Ali, Rottweiler, Morris, peace, Rottweiler, Ryan James, S. Wiseman, as always. Thank you for being a mod. And Sharmy Cat, Shammy Cat. Wait a minute. I don't want to butcher this. I need to put on my ShannyCat73. Thank you for joining us, and just thank you for coming to the live stream. It means a lot to me. And honestly, whenever I come on and I have a title like "Help Me to Understand," I really am trying to figure my way through something. You know, just like many of us, we have some questions sometimes, and we're like, I need someone to help me understand this. So I just appreciate so much you showing up, and thank you for all your prayers. And I'm feeling better. I should probably be 100% tomorrow. I start school Monday, start my next class Monday. But excuse me. But thank you for coming in, and thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your kind words and thoughts. And I will see you later. Peace. Okay, and I can't shut it off from here. I have to get up. All right. Peace, family.